Welcome to a very special tagline. Tonight, all three of our hosts will be played by Mr. Chris Pratt. Please enjoy our show tonight. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cinefanatics. My name is Chris Pratt, and I am the host of the tagline tonight. This is really effing stupid.
Yeah, so anyways, guys, welcome to the tagline. We are the Cinefanatics. My name is Chris Adams.
I'm Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Pratt.
Yeah, this is Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say I'm a Chris Pratt? Like Chris Pratt is like now a singular group of people, like the Chris Pratt cult going on?
Yeah, like I'm a Catholic. I'm a Chris Pratt.
I'm a Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily something you want to exclaim right now.
I'm one of many Chris Pratts.
Hi, Brennan.
Guys, this is the tagline. This is the show where the tagline is the title of the show. We want to thank you for being here. Brennan, what's up, man? Welcome, everybody. First of all, you know how it works. If you want to chime in, you have something you want to say at all, I mean, obviously you can say it in the chat. That's a real thing. But if you really want to catch our attention...
That's why YouTube stuck it there.
Yeah, that's why YouTube put the chat there. You can do it at streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. You don't always need the tip. But
it does
that's
help.
a great... That does help. That's a great place to send any comments, any questions, anything you got. Especially because right now, those of you who are in the know about the Schmodown stuff, we're trying to save up for Spectacular. So, you know, if you want to help us make sure that we can eat that weekend, that would be a great place to help us out at.
Let's start small. If y'all would like to help us make sure we have a bed we could sleep in with a roof over it, you know, not out on the street, that would be great.
I feel like starting small was making sure we could eat.
I want to be able to buy everything and anything I want, so I have high expectations for Streamlabs tonight. I don't want to roll into Spectacular like a little wimp, so...
Tori, I promise you will be able to buy and afford every single free cup of water that you can get while we're in LA.
Thank you. Also, can we talk about Texas for a second? I got bit by bugs yesterday for no reason. So if you see me like... I have mosquito bites everywhere.
Scratching or slapping. That's the thing. Like, so for Texas right now, those of y'all who haven't looked at the radar, especially in a state that you may not live in, so therefore you really just don't give a damn. We have like probably our first massive cold front came through today. Our first big massive one of the autumn season.
Wait, before you say how cold it is, understand that whatever number we come up with, Garth is going to make fun of us. So continue.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I'm not gonna. 55 degrees.
So we dropped down to a very, very frosty 83 degrees today.
You know what, though? I think the bugs are, like, having a last rebellion because Chris and I saw a giant, big, girthy cockroach.
Why? Why did you have to use that word?
It was girthy.
It was
girthy. That's like one of those like how people don't like the word moist.
Baby, I like both.
Girthy and moist. All right. Before this episode of the tagline becomes the ending of this past weekend's marquee, let's wrangle this in.
Wait, PJ's here too. I'm just kidding.
Did we talk about Patreon?
Not yet, guys. You can also help us out over on patreon.com/cinefanatics. I would like to highlight, we have a new patron in there. He just joined. That is Brennan Marr, who is still on his Star Wars high from his championship match. Congrats, champ. Yes. We're so glad to have you aboard the Patreon. We appreciate you.
I am eager to see. I want to see Brennan go up to the Schmodown proper. I want to see him perform Star Wars there.
I do, but I also want to see him like just completely wreck shop and dominate in the FCL for as long as possible.
That too.
Like, I want to keep him.
I want to keep him. I don't want to give him up yet.
That's the thing about the FCL. It's like we want to go to Schmodown, but you want to be a part of this like ever expanding, like especially because of whatever it's going to be doing this next season.
Right.
FCL has good vibes. I mean, Maxwell's here.
I like I like the FCL. Thank you for being here, Maxwell.
Yeah, look at that.
I was joking about the 83. Yeah. It's actually, well, a second ago it said it was 49. Now it says it's 50. So it's pretty cold here.
You could
It's
wear a
cold for us.
jacket. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it is jacket. It's gonna be jacket weather.
I might go get a hat, maybe.
It's a nice Chris Evans sweater weather.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yes. I need to get one of those.
I do. I want one of those too. Although I probably look terrible. I'm so used to being in black.
Right. Get a black version. Anyways, over on the Patreon, guys, when you jump on there and support us, we're doing all sorts of stuff over there. We got the Discord you can come hang out in. It's starting to get busier and busier in the Discord, and I appreciate everybody who's in there, like chiming in and participating in conversation. Because of you guys, the Discord becomes a place that I want to visit, even though it's our Discord and I should want to visit it anyway. Anyways, other things we got coming up that are on the Patreon. We've got the trivia hangout. That's going to be on Monday the 8th. I believe that is this next upcoming Monday.
Yeah. 2022 is almost here.
2022 is almost here.
Dude, we just got into 2021.
Yeah.
We just got into 2020. I'm still mentally in college last year.
Yeah.
I was in college last year.
It never happened. 2020 never happened.
I'm still wishing I was like at the end of 2019, but
it's true.
Yeah, there's no FCL. So this is just going to be just a pure flat out just trivia hangout. Answer some movie trivia questions for fun, not necessarily like having to really focus any studying.
At the same time, though, we got to stay warm because who knows when the next FCL season is going to start. It could be March. It could be January. We don't know yet. We got to stay warm. So let's keep prepared, even though I really don't
help us
think
stay
about,
warm.
Even though I don't want to think about trivia at all for the next 2 months.
Do y'all do flannel sheets in your house?
Flannel.
Do you do the winter transition to flannel sheets? The Northerners know what I'm talking about in the chat. You get your flannel sheets out right now. You get your nice warm sheets.
I can't say that that's a thing I've ever done.
Yeah, it's a whole experience. You got to do it. I'm telling you.
Maxwell says that he thinks it's going to be earlier than last season.
Yeah.
I think it'll be in line with Schmodown.
Yeah.
I have no information that tells me that other than I think it's very popular and people will want it back.
There's also again, there's going to be probably a lot more to FCL this next season than there was in the inaugural season. Definitely going to be a lot more players. Somebody told me that there's supposed to be a teams division. My body is a flannel sheet. Yeah, I get that feeling.
Kind of jealous, actually, a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I was told that there was a teams division apparently.
Huh? Who told you that?
So I'd have no idea, but I feel like a little birdie told me.
Interesting. There's a lot of things that we need to.
A little bratty.
A little bratty.
A little bratty. Nice. I approve of that one. That was a good one.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot more matches probably in the FCL this coming season. I would assume it's probably going to be a lot more than just one live with 2 episodes. There might be multiple battles going on throughout the week. Who knows?
We'll see. Anyways, other things happening on the Patreon.
Maxwell's hitting for Mad Cow. Team Mad Cow.
Oh my
God. We can keep moving on here. Other things happening on the Patreon. First of all, the trivia hangouts on Monday the 8th. That's going to be 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. So if you're on the $25 and up tier, which
the Maverick tier,
if you're on the $25 tier, no one's on the up tier. Come hang out during the trivia hangout.
There is an up tier if you'd like to be the first one on the up tier, though.
Yeah, there's a $50 up tier and a $100 up tier. So
I don't know. No one's hit it yet, so we'll see.
If you hit the up tier, we all do tagline shirtless.
That might be okay for at least 2 out of the 3 of us to do.
We can do it like
YouTube.
this.
Yeah. Your camera would have to stay in one exact spot the entire
Gimli
time.
in Lord of the Rings. I'll be like that.
Yes. 2 out of the 3 of us. 2 out of the 3 of us will be able to do it. So me and Tori will be able to do it. My brother needs to keep a shirt on.
Yeah. Robert, you can't be vulnerable like that.
Nobody wants to see these nipples. I'm just being honest.
So, anyways, guys, the other thing happening on the Patreon.
Harry baloney is what I'm trying to say.
We are 10 minutes in, and I'm trying to get through the Patreon stuff. The other Patreon thing happening this month is our monthly Patreon watch along, which is going to be on the 19th. Guys, we are going to do a first time watch along for a new movie. King Richard is coming out on HBO Max that day, so we are going to be watching along King Richard on HBO Max at, again, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And that is going to be a little bit different because as of right now, we haven't quite worked out the functionality yet, but we're going to work on it. We're going to be doing that through Discord. So that's not going to be an on YouTube thing. That's going to be everybody come hang out on Discord and we'll all watch it together. Now, the kicker to that is that we're probably not going to be sharing the movie within Discord. So everybody will have to have their own HBO Max subscription in order to watch it with us. But we're all going to be hanging out and chatting and doing all that in Discord when we watch it along. Trying to say a sentence is just so difficult. This is a no bones day for me.
Welcome to my world.
It's a no bones day for me, guys.
Today's a bones day.
We're going to be doing a virtual learn.
Virtual learn. It's supposed to be a bones day. It's supposed to be. It wasn't. Anyway, what else we got going on? You look like you want to say something and you are itching to talk over there. So go ahead. I can continue doing it or you can take it over.
Well, me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to talk now?
No, let's also highlight what else we have coming up. This coming Friday in 2 days, those of y'all may remember, it will be the 5th of November. So we decided to do something special this month. This will be probably one of the few times that we will be doing a public watch along. And I can't think of any other movie to publicly watch along on YouTube, not on Discord, but for everyone to watch and hang out with us. We will be doing V for Vendetta on Friday, November 5th. That will also be at the 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this one. I've probably seen this once and I remember enjoying it, but I haven't been able to go back. So I want to watch this again. What?
Murder was murder.
Germs.
Murder.
Yeah, Turker germs. So yeah, if y'all don't have any plans for November the 5th, feel free to come over here to this channel, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, and do a watch along of V for Vendetta with us. So that should be a lot of fun. Come hang out.
My friend loves that movie. She made me watch it in high school, and I really like it. So I'm excited to watch it again. I haven't seen it in a few years.
It's so good. I really love it.
Yeah. The other thing I want to cover real quick is due to this past weekend's crash and burn of the Marquee Halloween, we are going to refuse to do any more episodes of the Marquee. Thank you, everyone, for just
way to go, guys.
We flew too close to the sun.
Yeah. We will do the Marquee again. The Marquee, we did the Marquee every weekend in October. I would say it was very successful. Had a blast doing those. A lot of good conversations about different types of horror movies or franchises. So we want to keep it going. We're going to be taking a break from it for this weekend. So no Marquee this weekend. The plan right now is we do have an idea for 2 marquees that we want to do in the month of November. So as we get closer to them, either keep following us on Twitter at CineFanaticsMLP or watch here on Tagline. We'll be announcing them. I will say that some of the other marquees that we're wanting to get into are going to be non-horror related. So what?
No, keep going. You're good. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, so we're going to start covering other things that aren't necessarily horror, like what's the best Disney movie? What's the best Tom Cruise performance? I don't know. Just whatever strikes our fancy, whatever it may be, something that we can connect to a new movie coming out. What's the best use of frogs in a movie? Pretty sure E.T. is going to get number 1 on that.
Everyone in the Schmodown would show up on that episode. I'm telling you.
A frog episode?
The frog episode. People have passionate opinions about frogs.
Princess and the Frog's pretty high.
There's lots
I
of
can say that now. I've seen it. Haha.
It's good, right? It's my favorite princess movie.
Why?
So just keep an eye out for that. We're going to be doing more marquee episodes. Again, we have plans for 2 of them in November. We'll just wait till we get closer to them just to see how well they're going to flesh out and if they'll work. So,
Yep. So stay tuned for those announcements.
I'm excited.
I will say that I know of one at the end of November that we have planned is going to be a tie-in to a movie that's coming out at the end of November also.
Teasing.
So, that should be fun. Anyways, that's it for the upcoming shows that we've got.
Awesome. So we got anything going on in our lives we want to share with the people today? Anything
I
going
watched
on?
Lord of the Rings.
You did watch Lord of the Rings.
I mean, we were going to talk about our movies little section. But I finished the whole trilogy. I'd watched, I think I talked about Fellowship of the Ring on here before. I watched Two Towers and Return of the King extended editions for all 3. I really, really liked them. I'm going to be
She started them last week. She's still watching them right now. This second.
I'm still watching them right now for the rest of my life. I'm going to be rewatching them with Ben Goddard on his, what's it called? I guess is it Patreon or can you just watch it on his Discord?
It's Patreon. Yeah, he's doing it on his Patreon.
He does his watch-alongs. I'll be watching those for sure. Really loved them. Love Gimli. Love the Ents. Not enough frogs for me, but like we all have flaws, so you know.
Y'all skipped on the frogs. Everything that you could have done in that movie, and no frogs.
No frogs. There's not really a lot of animals besides
oil barons wrestling in mud.
Yeah.
Just y'all dropped the ball.
Oh, you remember that?
Tolkien.
You remember when I said that? Wow.
It was funny.
So now that we're done promoting someone else's Patreon.
Yeah. I would say personal for me, guys, like I've had a major life change over the past like couple of days. Guys, the McRib is back.
I don't even know what that is. Is that what people were talking about?
Oh my God, please, Lord God, please forgive this child, for she knows not what she does.
Oh,
Just
no.
I don't know what a McRib is. I don't know what a Discman is. What the heck? I don't know what that is.
Why a Discman? Where did that come from?
I was watching Degrassi with my roommate Jenny, and
which Degrassi? There's
the old one. She showed me like the old Degrassi with Drake in it when Drake is like a baby.
That's not the old Degrassi. There's even older Degrassi.
Oh no. Well, there was one with Drake in it, and I was like, I don't know what that is. And Jenny was like, in the old days, when she would get on a bus,
carry around with you.
She would carry it around, and she's like, it used to skip, and I was like, what?
No, you got to get the anti-skip protection on your Discman.
She said it still skipped.
It did, but you still had to have it. Otherwise, you weren't cool, and you didn't have a true Discman.
Y'all had it hard. Like, look at you. You had to listen to whole CDs.
Yeah.
You couldn't jump from, like, Meg Thee Stallion to, like, the Rolling Stones to Blondie to...
No. I had to make full committed choices on what I listened to on the bus every day to school.
Well, why would you be listening to Megan Thee Stallion anyways?
Do you even know who that is?
Isn't it Megan the like THEE?
The
Stallion?
Yeah.
Guys, welcome to the tagline tonight.
Robert's old.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Robert's old, Tori's young, and Chris is floating somewhere in the middle.
The joke on this is going back. I do the fans view of the Chucky TV series that's out right now with Vernon over on the Fans View channel. So make sure to check that out. This last episode from last week, there's a part where like a teenage girl in 2021 is singing to her younger sister, trying to serenade her asleep or whatever. And she's singing "Don't Fear the Reaper." And I was like, no, BS. There's no way a teenage girl, especially with her personality, knows any of the words to "Don't Fear the Reaper."
We know the SNL skit.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only reason you would know that. Like, more cowbell. But I was like, yeah, back in my day, musicians had like cool names, not like some stupid, like, what did I say, little the baby X or whatever.
You even know what Billie Eilish's middle name is?
No, and I've never heard any of her songs, which is great.
Her middle name is Pirate Baird.
Nice. I was making the joke that back in my day, musicians didn't have stupid names. They had like respectable names like Snoop Doggy Dogg and Chumbawamba.
Mm-hmm.
And Ice Cube. Oh, we
And
don't
Ice
talk about him
Cube.
Vanilla Ice.
Well, we don't bring up Vanilla Ice. Like that's an exception right there.
Now. We all knew that was dumb.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyways. I was trying to like disparage like the entire like current music audience there, but it was like very tongue in cheek.
So so basically, to sum up, long story short, names have always been dumb. So moving on.
Paul.
Pink Floyd.
God.
Paul.
Speaking of, let's definitely talk about movies we watched and how we feel about them. Tori, how do you feel about Dune?
That will be Tori's official review right there. Thanks for coming. Hope y'all enjoyed her review.
You can quote me on that.
Tori, thank you for keeping that spoiler free. We know it was hard to do.
Yeah, no. I know Rolling Stone does some pretty good reviews, but like I'm here to challenge them. So
the band does a review of Dune
magazine.
The band's been around longer than Dune. What are you talking about?
Back in my day, a magazine was this thing of paper stapled together with articles.
God, you're old.
I know what tub thumping is, nerd.
I get knocked down.
Guys, music is timeless.
I had a stepdad who was into cover bands and rock music, so I heard all of it.
Wait, there's a Chumbawamba cover band?
No, like he would just play rock like songs, so I would hear old songs.
Oh,
he said
yes.
My stepdad was in a cover band.
Tori, you should have said yes, and he would have been like busy the rest of the night.
My stepdad is Chumbawamba.
I'm looking for the Chumbawamba cover band now.
I wouldn't have had to listen to anything he was going to say to me the rest of the night. He would have been so focused on that.
I also know Numa Numa. I remember that.
Oh my gosh, Numa Numa.
Yeah, that is I think it's the song's actually called like Dragon Seed Denti.
Wrong.
Dragon Seed Denti.
Nope.
What?
Dragosta Dente.
Yeah, okay.
Haha, screw you.
That only like in
Suck it.
Swedish.
Suck it.
Isn't it? It's like Swedish, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah. I like the music video of it. The music video of that.
Actually.
What's the name of the guys that sing that? It's not O-Town, but it's like something like that.
Yeah, it's something with O in it.
Freaking Commentating Nerd. Nobody cares, Robert. It's Numa Numa. Nobody cares.
It's true. It's true. I didn't really watch any new
Nerd
movies.
liked his trip to Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met Nerd. That happened.
We met Nerd.
Guess what movie we saw with Nerd?
Mm-hmm.
We'll be talking about it tonight.
It is the thumbnail.
Last Night in Soho.
Wait, what happened last night in Soho?
We saw Last Night in Soho. Last Night in Soho.
Oh,
I don't.
Can you imagine if like we actually were able to go to Soho and watch Last Night in Soho and Soho?
I mean, we were a couple of blocks away from SoCo.
It's true.
South Congress, Austin. Okay, that's an Austin joke.
There's no theater on SoCo. Anyway, guys, I didn't watch anything new. I rewatched the first Ghostbusters because I'm trying to refamiliarize myself so I can watch the second Ghostbusters for the first time. I've never seen Ghostbusters 2. I will be watching that soon so that I can be prepared for the eventual disappointment that's probably going to be Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Isn't Ghostbusters the original kind of not great?
No, well, besides Peter Venkman being a dick, which I wrote multiple times in my Twitter thread while watching the movie. Other than that, it's all right.
Yeah.
And Walter Peck not having one.
It's true.
This man has no dick. I love that whole little scene. There's it's like a 2-minute scene that has like 20 quotable lines in it.
Yeah. Crazy. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. So I don't have anything to add to this conversation other than I rewatched the first Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I caught up on a couple of movies. I watched You're Next, which was pretty enjoyable. The lead girl in that movie, she's like right up there, I would say, with like Ripley or Sarah Connor, just like badass female protagonists, like awesome. The Skin I Live In was another one I caught up on. It's all in Spanish, but it is so good. Like if y'all like a movie that has like a really good twist to it, and it's a twist that like makes sense within the confines of the world that the movie's setting up, and not some like little twist that's like, okay. This one was good. I highly recommend The Skin I Live In. And you might hear like it's some weird things about it. It is a little bit of a weird movie, but it's not like overtly graphic, I would say. So like I keep seeing, I've seen it pop up on lists of like weird movies that are just like too hard to watch or you shouldn't watch or whatever. There was nothing really that bad with this. But yeah.
A lot of I feel like Latin American countries like are underrated in their films they produce. Like a lot of their horror films are really scary. Like I took Spanish classes in college, and I remember we watched this like short animated movie that was in Spanish about a woman who stuffed children into dolls and kept them on her shelves and sold them to other children. And it was really good and really scary. And the teacher did not give us any preface. Like she just put it on and we were all like not good after. But yeah, I mean, I will say, I think because it's in Spanish, a lot of them get overlooked, but a lot of the horror that comes out of like Spanish speaking areas are, they're real good. Real good.
And then the only other movie I caught up on was Injustice, the DC animated movie that is like a take off of the Injustice video game. I thought it was pretty good. It was very rushed. You watch this movie and you can tell they're just like flying through the story, but I thought it was done pretty well. So,
La Llorona is another good example. But the director of it was he's also from I believe he's from Argentina. So there's a lot of like horror directors. I feel like a lot of horror people.
We'll make sure we say this is La Llorona and not The Curse of La Llorona, which is like a slight spin-off of The Conjuring, which was kind of Jeremy Miller says, I saw The Faculty. It was a good fun night. Like The Faculty is a great movie, also filmed here in Austin, Texas. So
look at that.
Yeah. Have you read the Long Halloween comic?
I think I read the comic a long time ago. I just don't remember too much of it. I watched the first part of the Long Halloween and just thought it was But yeah, I know the Long Halloween is a very, very widely respected Batman story. So,
yes, I was gonna pull it out, but it's underneath some stuff. But I have assigned Long Halloween. I think I may have mentioned that.
Yeah, Long Halloween, Killing Joke, what's the Arkham? There's one about Arkham. I forgot what the rest of the subtitle was on it. But yeah, Dark Knight Rises, Hush was pretty good. So yeah, a lot of good stories for there.
There you go. All right.
Anything else we want to cover?
Nothing else, because I know that there's the one movie that we all definitely saw that we'll talk about later on. But other than that, I think we definitely unless Tori had anything else to say on Lord of the Rings.
No, it was cute. Go watch it. It's very homo.
It's very what?
Mucho homo.
Homo.
Oh.
Sam, okay, because Sam and Frodo have a different energy than Merry and Pippin. Merry and Pippin are like friends. They're like brothers. Are they actually brothers? Did I miss that?
No.
Okay, so they're just like bros. They're vibing out. There's no homo energy between them. Frodo and Sam, when Frodo's like, my Sam, and Sam is like, I'm going to pack enough bread for us to share along the journey. I'm like, this is intentionally gay. It is not subtle. It is so gay.
Potato. Like
the way he said that?
Yeah.
Queer. I'm telling you.
It's true. And on that note,
ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
What's your best Smeagol impression? Give me your Smeagol impressions.
Smeagol impressions?
Piece of candy in my mouth.
Precious. Give me
Filthy hobbitses. There we go.
Hi, I'm Smeagol. Please give me the ring.
Chris,
It's very precious to me.
I actually did better than I thought I was going to do.
high.
I don't know if I've ever actually like really practiced a Golem Smeagol impression. So
That was really good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can do Golem. I can't do Smeagol.
Nerd, give us your best Smeagol impression if you didn't get invited to this game.
In the chat. Go ahead, just do an impression.
Yeah, everyone give us your best Smeagol impression in the chat. We'll wait.
Precious.
Yeah, I can't
y'all
get
could
that
do?
high, Chris.
My precious.
Y'all could take video of yourselves doing that, put it into Discord, and we could bring it up. We could share screen it through Discord.
Ooh. It'd probably take a while. It'd probably be a big delay on that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It would. We just sprinkle them throughout. For the rest of the night, sprinkle in some Smeagol impressions. There we go.
Knowing our viewers, I wouldn't put it past someone is probably going to do a Smeagol voice talking about like how precious their penis is or something like that.
These are pretty good.
And we're just gonna, I'm liking those. They're much better than mine.
Garth is going to be hard to top, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Hi, I'm Smeagol.
Hello, I'm Smeagol.
Come to the
I'm
law
gonna start talking
offices
about
of
Lord of the Rings.
Smeagol, and Gollum.
Smeagol, and Golem.
Did someone take your precious ring? We'll get it back for you.
There it is.
Trust us with your preciouses.
643
You say
7777.
Why are they based in Austin, Texas?
Because Austin's weird. It's quirky.
This would be the place that Gollum would open a law office at. Did you see over off I-35? I don't know if you've been around here, Tori, enough to see it, but close to like downtown, there's a law office. If you watch daytime television, local
But the
channels,
guy who looks like a douche.
maybe
Yes.
his name's Funk.
Yeah.
Funk and Associates.
Funk.
So if you have a problem, call Funk. That's Funk. F-U-N-K. I'm like, man, you got close on that one. But his law office is right there off the highway, and sometimes you see like his big ass Humvee that's out there. It's like, we'll squash the competition. It's just
very Texas.
It is. I was like, that guy's great. Especially in the commercial, they show him at his desk, and he's like this big muscle-bound, bald guy. He's like, call Funk.
Obsessed.
And he holds it like that too. So.
Yep,
Gollum
that's true.
Bob Loblaw. Wow.
Took you a while to get through that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come on, that word's not that long.
Blah, blah, blah,
Bob Loblaw.
Bob Loblaw. Oh,
Anyways,
my Betty Nope.
How's the box office doing there, Chris?
Yeah, so let me tell you about the box office, guys.
Do that. Tell us about the box office.
There were some new
why don't
movies.
you tell us about the box office, Chris?
Guys, the
thank
box
you, Tori.
office. Hey, you know what? There's some news about the box office. Y'all want to know what's in the box office?
Sure
There's some new movies that open up this week. Some new movies open up this week, guys, and none of them are number one. Hey yo. I could almost go like radio DJ there if I wanted
to. Hi,
I was
I'm
waiting for you to
Casey
say
Kasem.
something so I could say what about the box office again, but you didn't.
Didn't we actually call this last week? Like, I feel like we talked about this last week that we doubt that Last Night in Soho was going to take number one just because of how big a movie Dune is.
Yeah. I think we did, but also, it's Edgar Wright, so it's kind of his stuff is usually a little niche in terms of like it's what's the proper way to explain it? It's closer end on the art scale than it is on the general audience scale.
Audience.
I like that. It has a less wide audience. The audience is not as wide.
The audience is not as wide.
The audience is not as wide.
Dune.
Dune is number one.
See Dune.
Is
So
still
the audience,
number one.
the audience is not wide based off of a movie where they're talking about how much they like garlic bread.
It's true too.
Potatoes.
Anyway. Guys, Dune is still number one. Big surprise. Probably going to be, well, what's coming out next week? I don't know. It's going to be high up there. It's going to be in the top 10 for like the rest of the year.
Do you think if I put out a worst movies of the year list and only included Dune on it, would I get canceled?
You wouldn't be canceled, but no one would probably watch our channel anymore.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
So don't do that.
Tori, it's hey, you are allowed to have an opinion. You are valid
In this
you are-
house,
You are
you're not
valid for
allowed to
having an
express
opinion.
the opinion.
You are valid for having an opinion. Maybe some of those opinions don't go online. He's trying to silence women. Kill
Oh
him.
my gosh.
So
It's
speaking of killing,
okay, world. I try singing and he tries to silence me too. So it's just
it's very true. Speaking of killing, Halloween Kills is number 2.
that would make sense. That one came up. That one came back up though, right?
Unfortunately.
I feel like Halloween Kills is like a trigger word for me now with what happened on Saturday. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, so
Getting
the question-
PTSD to last Sunday. Yeah.
The question was whether or not it was going to bump back up to like number 1 or something because Halloween weekend. It did not. It stayed at number 2.
I think the reason it stayed at number 2 is because of Halloween weekend.
And that is actually probably true.
Yeah.
Number 3 is No Time to Die. Didn't mention like how much these movies made because they're just in the top 3. That's to be expected. Number 4 is a new release. Can y'all guess what this new release is?
Last night in
in
Soho.
Soho.
No, you're wrong. It is My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission.
Good for them though.
Yeah,
There's a lot of anime bros and
Oh, is
hoes.
that anime?
it is anime.
Oh.
Number 5 is Venom Let There Be Carnage. That movie is still hanging out. This is going to be my new Paw Patrol, honestly, guess. Why is that movie still in the top 10?
Why is that movie still in the top 10?
This one I think I'm okay with. I think I can get away with this. Like Paw Patrol, the Paw Patrol hate probably doesn't fly with a lot of people. The Venom hate, we're going to hate Venom. Sort of. Number 6 is a new release. Can y'all guess what it is?
Last Night in Soho.
No, wrong. It's Antlers. Antlers is at number 6 opening up this week.
I forgot about Antlers.
Yeah. Was that was Guillermo del Toro?
Produced.
Guillermo?
Guillermo del Toro produced it.
Guillermo produced it, yes. I'm sorry, that's offensive. People don't understand the reference with the Guillermo. It's Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo. Did I ever tell you
Guillermo.
I went to Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con a few years ago and I saw him. I met him.
Did you?
That's cool.
Really?
Yeah, did he ever release an animated show about like a magic troll thing?
Doesn't sound
Probably.
familiar.
I don't know if he got pushed back because of the pandemic, but we got to see a whole episode of it. I forget what it was called.
Interesting.
But it was really good. Yeah, he was really cool.
Did you get a picture with him?
No, I mean it was at Madison Square Garden, so like it was probably tens of thousands of people that were there.
That was like one of those, like, I'm going to get a picture with him. And then he's like way back here.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that he took some time out of his schedule to be able to get this picture with me.
Yep.
Guys, number 7 is a new release. Do you know what it is?
Last Night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho.
Yes, it is. It's Last Night in Soho opening up at number 7. That's just so disappointing, and we'll get into our review on that. But
I'm starting to have regrets about possibly making that our thumbnail for this episode tonight.
Also, yes, Jeremy got it. I think Troll Hunter sounds correct. Yes.
Oh, okay.
well, the other option was putting Chris Pratt's face on a bunch of things, and well, let's be honest. Number 8 is Ron's Gone Wrong. That's that cute little animated movie, guys.
I want to go see that.
You want to go see that? I kind of. Anyway, number 9 is Addams Family 2.
Very articulated tonight.
We don't make jokes about Addams Family in this family.
It's one of the. Did you make that joke?
Kind of just grew up hearing them all, so.
Did you make the joke? Did you really make the joke?
So your
Guys,
team
those-
name's not going to be the Addams Family?
Guys, it was nice having Tori be a part of the Cinefanatics for as long as she hung out in there, guys. She stuck through as long as possible. God bless her, geez. Anyway, so number 10 is
I removed myself as soon as you added me back.
number 10 is the French Dispatch, which I still want to go see. So there's that. It's that Wes Anderson movie. Anyway, those are your top 10. Not a whole lot of news to talk about there, other than unfortunately Last Night in Soho not being at number 1 or
And
number
Lamb
2.
is out.
Yeah, Lamb's
It's out digitally for you to be able to rent and watch or something like that. So
Lamb's at number 19, guys. I don't think it's going to crack the top 10 again. Just something's telling me that.
People don't get it. They don't get it.
They just don't understand.
You have to be a real
Like-
cinephile to get it.
Ada was like a reference to all of us on the inside.
I'm so upset about that they're releasing the little stuffed toy of Ada, and I'm like, I want that. Like, I want that, like, sitting back here on my bed while we're doing Tagline. You just see this little Ada sitting back there, and then my cat Lola will jump up on the bed and sniff at it like, what the is this thing?
She's like, you bring this child into the house.
What am I, like, chopped liver, lamb, whatever?
You bring this child into my house on the day of my laying around and sleeping.
Yes.
Brother Bear. Because of the Revenant.
I'm telling you.
Team Brother Bear. I like that. That's funny. No one's gonna take us seriously, but
Okay. Jeremy, that does not strike fear into anyone's heart.
Yeah.
Our logo is Winnie the Pooh.
I don't think we could do that.
That would be my team if I had a team.
copyright.
I'd be like the Cozy Frogs.
Cozy Frogs.
Like, that would be the whole joke. Would be the least intimidating name ever.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damns.
I like it. It's wordy, but if we could, I
would
would.
like it.
If we could, I would.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to some movie news. Let's talk about our little section we like to call the quickies. That's the movie news that you just want to get in there and you get it done real quick. You don't need to take too long on these things, you know.
Cool. This guy's playing Garfield and Mario. Whatever. Moving on.
Hardy. I'm not playing Bowser. That news didn't come out yet.
At this point, it would be easier and probably shorter for our show if we just cover what cartoon characters Chris Pratt is not voicing.
If they put him in Pokemon, I'm suing.
Oh, he's going to be like Pikachu.
You know, the only
Easily.
Pokemon he's allowed to be is a Bidoof. Because he's a Bidoof.
I actually would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Wait,
he's a
is there
Bidoof.
actually a Pokemon called a Bidoof?
Yeah.
Bidoof!
Bidoof.
It's a giant
Bidoof.
beaver.
I thought it was like a Pokemon that helps like the Transformers.
No.
Like a Shia Bidoof.
No, it's a Bidoof. It's notoriously one of the most hated Pokemon.
Yikes. I hope you're embarrassed.
I'm okay with it.
Hope you feel terrible about that. I'm gonna
I'm
shame
not
you
a
the rest of the
Pokemon
night.
fan, so I mean, I feel like I'm
Gosh.
okay with that.
Could you
That's
imagine
rough.
being a normal type Pokemon, Chris?
I am a normal type Pokemon. What are you talking about?
No, if y'all were Pokemon, what flavors would we be? Chris, you would be an electric type for sure.
I'll
For
accept
sure.
this. I'll accept
Robert, you would be.
this. Dark type.
I was gonna say dark type.
Is
Would
that
you
like
like
the
Mara
spooky
and
one, like
Black?
the
Not
like
ghost.
whatever, the ghost ones or whatever?
It's
No.
you're not a specter. You're just an evil person.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I like that.
Yeah, the vibe.
I could be
the vibe
evil.
is there. What would I be?
Frog type.
Mm.
You would be.
That'd be the
you-
only time I think you could tell another human being. By the way, just to let you know, I think you would be a frog type Pokemon.
A
That's
frog.
not a real type.
One of the frogs.
Whatever.
So there's the frog side of it. So you'd be a water, but I actually think that you'd be more of a grass type.
Grass type.
Well,
The grass type
maybe when
Pokemons are
maybe
kind
when
of
it's legal in
bad bees.
Texas.
All the hot girls in that in the Johto gym. Or no. Sorry, I was thinking of the hot girls in the Johto gym that have normal types, but there's the hot girls, it's the Sinnoh gym, right? That have the grass types.
For the sake of the conversation, I'm gonna say that I remember exactly what you're talking about and say yes.
There's the hot girl gym in Sinnoh where all the guys like peeping in and he's like, oh, there's ladies in there, and then it's a grass type gym.
By the way,
Oh,
this
no, that's-
quickie is pretty damn long.
That's in Kanto. That's yeah. That
Is it?
if anybody would like to see me and Tori do Pokemon trivia, we might do that at some point on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ChrisAdamsMLP.
Yes.
I don't know how, but
I haven't
we'll
played
figure it out.
Kanto in so long. You're probably right.
There it is. There it is. Yep. Celadon City. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, Chris Pratt's Garfield. Okay, cool. I don't picture it because no one's ever gonna top Lorenzo Music in my head. Bill Murray
Do you
got
think-
close, but Not close
They
enough.
he's a really good voice actor, or he has a really good agent, or
Agent. Definitely the
Yeah.
agent. It's 100% the agent. Because, like, he was fine. His voice was fine in the Lego movie. I think it fit for what they needed. But
who's tying some shoes behind closed doors for Chris Pratt?
Do I want to know what this phrase means? Like,
I'm gonna move on to the next story. That's a reference to SCN Live, like one of the older SCN Lives. So I'll explain it to you later when you're older. Anyways, let's move on to the next little piece of casting information here. Our second and only other quickie. Apparently, there's some rumor going around that Jim Carrey is been cast as MODOK in the MCU. Which, if you don't know who MODOK is,
I don't know who MODOK is.
He's
this is MODOK.
This freaky looking guy.
Is he the Watcher?
No.
Oh.
He is
No,
the
that's
mental
right.
organism designed only for killing. The MODOK.
Yeah. I don't know if this rumor is still floating around there. I know that it was brought up this last week. How do we feel about this? Because, like, I mean, Tori, if you don't know who MODOK is, then there's that. But there's also that Hulu show that stars Patton Oswalt. That is terrifying.
I'm sorry, I was too focused on trying to figure out who MODOK is. Who got cast as him?
Jim Carrey is rumored to be casted as him right now.
This is supposed to be Jim Carrey.
I have two thoughts. One, when I Google MODOK, am I spelling it right? MODOC?
MODOK.
Oh, okay. Because if I type in MODOC, it's the Missouri Department of Corrections.
That's
so
probably
anyway,
makes more sense.
didn't help.
Jim Carrey is doing that instead of playing this.
Yeah.
Fascinating movie.
Second thought, Jim Carrey has never offended me. I kind of think he's funny at times. Other times I think he's just written really poorly and just like there. I think in The Grinch he has some pretty iconic like acting moments I'm not a big comedy person, but I see people quoting his lines all the time, which to me means he did something right for a lot of people if they found him funny. I'm not against him getting, I don't want to say like a second chance. He's been around for a very long time, but I'm not mad at him getting a Marvel role, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people maybe made fun of him after the whole DC Riddler thing, right? I haven't seen. Has he in Batman Returns?
Batman Forever.
Forever. I haven't seen it. But I know it's like known as like a comical, notoriously bad movie. But I don't mind it. I think it's interesting. I think Jim Carrey has changed a lot personally. I know he's like found spirituality or something, I know, and like has gone through a lot in the past few years. So I'm down for him to try it.
I think a lot of it is based off of his performance in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, see, I didn't see that. But...
Yeah, he playing Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog probably helps a lot for that because he's playing essentially an evil mad scientist, which is what this thing is, sort of.
I'd love to see him be sinister. Like, he can give us that Jim Carrey, like, flair he's known as, but, like, have him turn it on someone. Like, I think that would be really creepy. He could be a creep, like...
That's definitely like one way that character could be played. There's a couple thoughts I have on this. One, yes, please give me MODOK in the MCU because look at him. I want to see that in live action. I want to know how they're going to pull that off. Marvel has
CGI,
obviously 100%. Marvel has like consistently gotten weirder and weirder and weirder with their movies and stuff they're doing in live action, and I'm here for all of it always. I really want to see this. Second thought. I am okay with Jim Carrey playing this role. I think he could pull it off, and I think what they want to do with it, they could make it work. I personally am on the Rainn Wilson train for MODOK. I think Rainn Wilson would be a lot better of a cast. So if they went ahead and didn't cast Jim Carrey in this role and casted Rainn Wilson instead, you'd have me immediately.
Rainn Wilson hasn't really been in much outside of The Office, right? Or am I just missing him?
He was in a lot more stuff like before The Office. He would pop up like in random TV shows. He was in House of a Thousand Corpses. He did that movie Super for James Gunn. So he's had a few roles here and there, but yeah,
He was in the Meg, real big deal.
Oh, that's true. There was a Transformers movie that he popped up in at some point.
He's in Juno, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the convenience store.
Monsters
Worker.
vs. Aliens, underrated animated movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about Jim Carrey as MODOK, but yeah, I guess it depends on how they do it. I would doubt that we're actually going to see this MODOK. We're probably going to see some kind of variation of it, but I'm not expecting to see this. This might be a little too far out there in the silliness for them. And to justify that, I would say look at how they've done the character of Arnim Zola. I mean, in the first Avenger, we see Arnim Zola as like a normal person, but since then, they've done nods to it. Arnim Zola, like the character in the comic book, is a scientist android with a camera for a head and the face is on the chest. They kind of sort of done nods to that in the movies, but they haven't gone full Arnim Zola.
Well,
yeah, What If got even closer, but that was animated.
The thing you just made me think of by saying the silliness thing reminded me of, have you seen Jessica Jones?
The first season.
Do you know how they did? Is that the one with David Tennant?
Yes.
Yeah, like how wasn't his comic character like purple or something?
The purple man. Yep.
Yeah, and they changed him to adapt to the show. Like, I wonder if something like that will happen.
They did it. Pretty much his character is Kilgrave. His character is exactly like it is in the comics in the show, just he's not purple. That was it. They just dropped the purple.
So he wasn't like silly in attitude in the comic. It was just like the look was more comic.
He's literally the definition of a giant ass creep.
Yeah. Okay.
Like 100%.
Giant ass creep. I'm like
giant ass creep. So the thing with MODOK is if you go back and you look at the recent Avengers game, MODOK was, I believe, the villain in that game, and what they did with him in that was actually kind of a fascinating take. You watched him like go from an actual scientist, regular everyday scientist, to progressively turning into that version of MODOK.
George Tarleton.
I think they could go that route with him. I think that would be like give him the origin, but then I don't know if you want to really like keep MODOK or hang MODOK around the MCU longer than just the one movie, or if he's going to be one of those villains that you want to do the one-off movie of, and then he's done and he's out of there. So I don't think I think that as far as like Jim Carrey being casted, if you do it for just like the one-off role, cool. I can see you doing that, but
I can't see him coming back or keep being a presence in it. They're saying that there's a chance he may pop up as early as the She-Hulk TV show. He may also pop up in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So
see, then most definitely he's popping up as just a regular dude before he like transforms into that.
That's what I would think too. Like he's probably just going to be like George Tarleton, a scientist that's probably brought in on an episode of She-Hulk to be like an expert witness in a case, and that's it. And then we see something funky happens with him, and then he pops up in Ant-Man and the Wasp in looking something similar to this.
You know what they should do? They should have him pop up with the leader and make them the Science Bros.
Yeah,
Science Bros. Anyway.
Well, this is our quickies that were half the damn show tonight.
Never mind. I was going to make a joke there. I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah, we know what joke could be made, and it's a good joke. We all understand what joke it could be, and we all get that it's a good joke. We're moving on.
I meant it to be quickie. Anyway, moving on.
Let's make these next two like pretty quick as well. Let's
There's
actually
a couple
make them quick. Yeah.
There's a couple trailers that came out. One for the Book of Boba Fett, which super excited for that. All you Star Wars punks and nerds out there, y'all know Boba Fett. You love him. You love to watch him fly his jetpack into the side of Jabba the Hutt's barge and fall into the dune sea.
Sarlacc pit.
Sorry. Yeah, the Sarlacc pit. He's got his own show. We saw that teased at the end of the last season of Mandalorian. Now we've got a teaser trailer of such for the show. And here's the thing. I think it looks pretty cool. But I also definitely know that this kind of feels a little bit like a cash grab, so to speak. Like, hey, you guys remember this character that you all loved back in the day that you didn't know much about? Come watch the TV show of him.
They didn't. The trailer didn't really expand upon anything we didn't actually already know. We know that this show is going to be all about Boba Fett taking over the crime syndicate from Jabba the Hutt. That's what the trailer showed us too. We already knew that. We just actually saw like some interaction between like Boba and other people with Fennec, and
yeah,
looks cool. I'm eager to watch it, but I mean, the trailer didn't sell me on anything that we didn't already know.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a couple different things here. Tori, do you have an opinion on this?
I'm just vibing.
Cool, she's just vibing. Sweet. So there's a couple things here. There's those who only know Boba Fett from, the original trilogy, wherever he appears in the movies. And then there's those who have watched the Clone Wars and have seen like little Boba Fett kind of grow up and do some stuff. And then there's those who, so there's those of us who watch the Clone Wars, and I'm actually really curious to see if they like dive into like Boba Fett's past and stuff within this show, if they like touch on things that happened to him during the Clone Wars. So the trailer looks interesting. I think they're establishing a good tone with it in terms of Boba is taking over the Jabba the Hutt's underworld of criminal mischiefs and weirdos. And I think it's going to be kind of interesting to see. I'm eager to see a more full trailer to give us more insight into what's going on in the show. But other than that, my brother's going to try to finagle, being able to hear anything still, and the rest of us will just carry on. Anyway.
Oh, did his headphones die?
His headphones, they look like they died.
Robert, if you can't hear us, dance.
We good? We back? Okay. Let's move on to the next trailer that came out. Uh-oh.
I'm good. Oh, you can't hear us? No!
All right.
Chris, it's just you and me and the cockroach from the other night.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's just hanging out down here. It followed me home. So the other trailer that came out this week was the Morbius trailer. Now, this one looks interesting because I think, Tori, did you see the original trailer for Morbius? Did you see this one?
I have no idea, and I have no idea who Morbius is, I'll be honest with you. Is he like a vampire man? Yeah,
kind of. So Morbius is a Spider-Man villain. Usually my brother would be here to give a little bit more insight on the character itself, but I will rely on Garth, maybe in the chat, to also kind of give us a little bit of insight. Oh, maybe he's back.
It works now.
Okay, there we go.
Bless.
Yeah, so we're talking about the Morbius trailer. It looks interesting. This is a lot better of a trailer than we got for the teaser. But I'm really confused right now as to where it falls in the whole Spider-Man universe. Like, it seems like the rest of the internet is very confused because they have nods to all the different Spider-Man movies that have already existed somewhere within this trailer, and it's like, okay, I'm very confused. As far as like his design, his look, he looks pretty good. That last shot you see in the trailer of him, he looks like Morbius. So that seems to be, 10 out of 10, great way to go, guys. But I don't know. I think this movie has like a hard hill to climb in that I don't really care that much about Morbius as a character. Less so not being the villain to Spider-Man and just being his own thing. Again, I'm getting kind of tired of these villains getting their own movies and just being anti-heroes.
I didn't like when they introduced him in the 90s animated cartoon, and they did like a whole season like all about him, and I was like, Morbius is not that interesting of a character.
Yeah.
I have that same thought, and I honestly just have a feeling this movie's gonna flop. If y'all don't care about him, and I had no idea who he was, and I'm around the movie space, I don't think the average person is going to know who he is. And Jared Leto, I don't think sells seats. I think Jared Leto's a little weird. I think his Joker thing made him kind of a joke in film, whether you agree with it or not. Like, I think, Joke. So I don't know. I'm not really interested in this, to be honest. I mean, but I can also say if it's really, really good or presents something unique. I mean, Iron Man was also not a very interesting or well-known comic character, and they made it work. Although that was a different time and we weren't as inundated with superhero movies where the average theater person wasn't going like, oh, another one. You know, at that time it was like, oh, let's go see a superhero movie. And maybe that had something to do with Iron Man catching on like how it did. But I don't know if I see this movie doing that, especially just because it's a villain. I mean, Venom did fine, right? How did the first Venom do? But Venom's more well known, like Joker. Like Joker is well known, so the Joker people know. Okay, let's go see a Joker movie. And I can't tell you, I saw that movie like twice or three times in theaters because I'm a psycho. And several times, like several people in the theater after were like, I didn't think that that's going to be what this movie was, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
I think the name Joker sold seats. I don't think the name Morbius sells seats.
Yeah. I think Garth actually hits a really good point over here in that it can hit big because it's got more horror than superhero and it'll draw both comics and horror fans. I think that's true.
Seems to be
a degree.
Seems to be a casual trope with Marvel that anytime Marvel does anything exploring their vampire stories, nobody knows it's a comic book character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think there's a big piece here that I know there's like rumors about when and where will Blade first show up too. I know he's got like, he might pop up in a TV show. He might pop up in Morbius, you know, there's all that kinds of stuff, but you know, maybe that if someone like is leaking those kinds of rumors that he might be in Morbius, maybe that will help push some people to want to see it a little bit more too, because they want to see Blade pop up somewhere finally.
Blade is my most anticipated new Marvel thing. So if he's in it, then I'll go see it. But yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Blade's
this
like right under Fantastic Four for me.
This is going to be interesting. This is one of those movies where it could end up being a complete surprise and actually end up being really good. In which case, you know, maybe it has a little bit of legs in the box office, but
what would they do with the character past this?
And that's kind of the big thing. I think I really think that Sony is just trying to find some way to stretch the Spider-Man franchise as much as possible. And I don't know if there's going to be a successful plan there, but it remains to be seen. If this movie ends up being like a huge success in the box office, then all the more power to Sony and what they want to do. But the trailer looks decent. It looks fine. I'm just not sold on the movie itself.
He looks good as Morbius. That's the only major positive that this has in it going for it right now. He looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I don't know, guys. We'll see. It comes out in January, so it's gonna be hitting pretty quick.
Yep. You know what I want to talk about? Last night.
What? Last night in Soho, and the world's your oyster.
Night in Soho. Guys, let's talk about some Last Night in Soho. That is our main topic. We have not actually reviewed it on the channel yet, and we're going to do that now. Here's the thing.
Before you start, sorry. Maxwell, stay in here. I want to hear your thoughts.
Oh, no.
We saw your tweet. This isn't an attack. This is not an aggressive thing. I genuinely want to hear your thoughts.
So the way this works, guys, you were there for, I think we've done this before. We did our Dune spoiler talk last week. This week we are going to talk a little bit about the Last Night in Soho spoilers, but we're going to do a non-spoiler review aspect first, and then we can dive into kind of like the details of that. So if you have not seen Last Night in Soho, hang out for the non-spoiler.
There will also still be the Last Night in Soho spoilers mute if you do not want to hear. Banner. So
and that will be put up when we dive into the spoilers, guys. Yep. So and there's some stuff to spoil, let me tell you. Anyway, this movie just came out this last weekend. What is time? I don't even know anymore.
It's a construct.
It is a construct. Edgar Wright's latest picture, and man, it was a ride. Let me tell y'all, it was a ride for sure. What's happening? Anyway.
Just Buddy Christ has given his approval to MODOK. Carry on.
Fair enough. So, guys, first of all, let us also know what you thought of Last Night in Soho in the chat too, if you've seen it. We definitely want to hear from y'all as well. But I'll start this off real easy here. I really enjoyed it. Well, let me say this: I didn't enjoy it, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it did things to me. It made me feel gross and disgusting. And I'm going to say that it is from the vantage point of being a man. It made me as a man feel gross and disgusting. And I think that is a good thing. I think it should be doing that. So that's my first opinion. You guys feel free to chime in on that as well.
I will take it just from a movie making aspect. I thought it was done very well, shot beautifully. Nice use of the cinematography, colors, strong nods to Italian giallo horror movies. Specifically, I was getting huge vibes of the original Suspiria off of this. So if you like this movie, I recommend watching Suspiria if you haven't seen it. But otherwise, yeah, I like this movie, the mystery, everything, very well done. Another Edgar Wright movie that I just absolutely loved. So.
Yeah, so I actually just Googled. This is the first Edgar Wright movie, or this is the second Edgar Wright movie I've seen. This is the first one I've liked. I've seen Shaun of the Dead, and I wasn't a huge fan. I know that's kind of controversial, but I know.
Wait, we have to introduce you to Scott Pilgrim then.
Oh, wait, I have seen Scott Pilgrim. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
was like, wait.
I literally Googled Edgar Wright movies, and Scott Pilgrim didn't come up. So... Okay. I have seen Scott Pilgrim. I do like Scott Pilgrim. I still love Last Night in Soho more for me. Yeah. I went into this movie based on the trailers, thinking it was going to be a commentary on entering womanhood. Thomasin McKenzie seems like your kind of average, our perspective as an audience girl, and Anya Taylor-Joy did seem to be presented as kind of the epitome of what women want to be in a conventionally heterosexual world of what you want to look like and what you're told you should look like and what you're told you should want. And I thought this movie did that. I thought it was a really interesting take on your average girl going into college and having to adjust to being a woman in a world and in a city that does not treat women well. And you see Thomasin give an amazing performance alongside Anya Taylor-Joy. I have a hard time saying one was better than the other. I've heard a few people say Anya Taylor-Joy steals the movie. I think Anya Taylor-Joy gets prettier scenes to do and gets a lot of very powerful scenes to do. Thomasin has to go a little slower and show a more of a downfall rather than being this mystical, ghoulish, haunting woman that Anya Taylor-Joy is. And so Anya is just more interesting because she's mysterious. Anyway, I thought it was beautiful. I thought the shots were amazing. There's a scene in particular when Anya Taylor-Joy is first introduced. I thought that scene would be interesting just to watch, just to go see the movie to see that scene. I think it has really cool shots. I think everyone is pretty. I think it's directed really well. I think the writing is cool. I thought this movie was a ton of fun. I think there were obviously harder moments and darker moments in this film that I think the trailer didn't really allude to, which I personally appreciated. And when we get into spoilers, I'll talk more about that. But this movie was haunting for me. It really worked for me. I've seen since that a few people really didn't like it. I think there's a couple of different perspectives you can take on the movie. I really related to Eloise's character and how she was written. I had similar college experiences where I got to college, and I've told this a few times now, but my first night as a freshman in college, I was in my suite. I had my roommates. I had just met them, and I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth, and I heard my roommate say that I was too ugly to be friends with. And it's very similar to the scene where not to spoil it, but Eloise has a hard time adjusting to college, and that's where we start off. And I think the writing was just very realistic, and times the movie gets very dreamy and whimsical, but I think it was grounded when it at points when it needed to be. And I just really connected to this movie. It's my movie of the year, to be honest. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And when we get to talk about spoilers, I'll talk more about it. But Robert, what do you think?
Everything y'all said, I would agree with as well. So, do we have anything else we want to cover before we get into spoilers?
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk real briefly about some of the things. I mean, Tori brought up like the performances. I think, is a Nerd who actually watched the movie with us. We got to hang out with Nerd, and he got to see it with us. But he says he thinks hands down Thomason owns the movie. I think that's true. I think there's definitely a room where she definitely like had more to do that was like grander in terms of like how her character was supposed to react to things and
the mystery and stuff. And
the mystery of it all. I think that from the technical side, like you were bringing up, was I think actually like both of y'all were talking about it, was like there was some really good stuff that I think you can just tell Edgar Wright is somebody who likes to try things, and he's not going to try things unless he knows that they're going to be really cool or help push the story forward. Like, for instance, you bring up Baby Driver, the whole like intro sequence and different parts of the movie playing to music, different beats and whatnot happening in the scenes happened to the music that was playing in the scene. You got a little bit of that in this movie too. Like he brought that back a little bit in places, which I thought was really cool. But how he just brought together like colors and like the camera angles in regards to like there were some shots with like with the mirror where both Thomason and Anya were present at the same time, and those shots were remarkable. Like I'm really curious. I think I have an idea of how those were done, but just the way they looked on screen were just flawless. There's just so much to love about this movie and how it presented its story. I will say, like, obviously, again, when we get into spoilers, I can talk a little bit more about this. There was one point in the movie where I felt the movie just laid onto the gas pedal, and it did not take its foot off the gas pedal until the credits rolled. And I know, like, in the last 30 minutes of the movie, I couldn't breathe. I was like holding my breath for the entire time, the last 30 minutes of the movie. So much of this movie worked for me. It made me feel rough. It made me feel gross, but it worked for me. And I really enjoyed it. It's going to be one of those movies that I will watch again, even though I don't know that I want to, but I definitely do want to. I'm very conflicted, but I do definitely want to go see it again because there's stuff that was probably laid out in the movie that I didn't catch the first time I watched it. And it's one of those I'm going to want to revisit and kind of dive into different aspects later on. So
I always love that about mystery movies is like, once you know, you're like, let me go back.
Yeah.
Where is it at?
It's like such classics as like, Usual Suspects and those types where
Sixth Sense,
those types where,
The Skin I Live In.
No spoilers.
Yeah. No spoilers. But yeah, for me, I think I'm giving this movie like a solid 9 out of 10. I think I got it like right up there. Like I'll tell you what, I've already like put it in my top 10 on Letterboxd. I put it as like number 4 right now, and Dune is number 3, but in my mind they're equal. They are both like at the number 3 spot for me right now for this year.
Statement, Chris Adams.
Well, controversial for you.
No, I respect it.
They're
both to get my, I would say it's a 9 as well. I don't give it a 10 only because a 10 to me would mean it's like in my list of, if you ask me what's my favorite movie, it'll come up. I don't know if this movie is that for me yet. That could change. I consider like The Dark Knight a 10 for me. The Incredibles is a 10 for me because of what it meant to me as a kid. I don't think this reaches that level for me yet. So I would say a 9 as well.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna even this out and go with a 9 also. So
So your official Cinephonetic score for Last Night in Soho, because that's a thing we do, is 9.
Highly recommend go see this movie. It's gorgeous. It's got, yeah, like you were saying, the music in it. Again, Edgar Wright is fantastic at music, and it plays very well, especially in a couple of key scenes in this movie. Thomason is an avid fan of like 60s music, so all that plays into like some of the characterization that they go through with this.
Yeah.
But let's talk about spoilers real quick. So again, if y'all don't want to hear it, just feel free to mute. You don't have to turn us off. We'll try to make this quick, but let's go ahead and throw up the banner. So we're going to talk some spoilers. And go.
Guys, when Nick Fury busted in and said, "Hey, Sandy, I need you to be a part of the Avengers initiative," and she just continued to sit there in the burning house, that really broke my heart.
Right? I have so much to say about this movie. I guess the spoiler territory. I mean, I love Eloise, period. I just love where this movie starts and where it ends. I do think the movie is in Eloise's perspective, and I think it's an 18-year-old girl's perspective. So sometimes when people do say that some scenes were like heavy-handed or a lot of like the man figure stuff may have been too much or repetitive, I think, again, we don't really understand her power. They kind of mention schizophrenia. They kind of mention her mom had mental illness. She commits suicide. We don't really know why. We know Eloise is interested in fashion, and she seems to have had these daydreams for like a while, and it doesn't seem like it's her first time having intense daydreams. Like, she seems to kind of have it down of like playing the music and activating it in herself. And I actually relate to that too, as someone who has like an attentive type ADHD. I daydream like crazy, and I can like make myself go into it. So I did find it like super interesting to be like, oh, like Edgar Wright's like capturing something that I haven't really seen a ton of on film, which is like a girl who's just like lofty, but she's not made out to be ditzy. Like, her daydreaming is almost seen as a superpower in the movie by like us as an audience. We're like, oh my God, like it'd be so cool to, I mean, it's so cool for the first part of the movie where you're like, it'd be cool to go into a bar and like be the hottest person in the room. And then obviously you see the ugly side of it. But I loved seeing her have to react to like what it's like to be a woman in London. From the point she gets in the cab, you start to feel tense for her. And I think that was realistic. I've had moments that were similar. And I guess to just like be more personal about some of the stuff the movie touches, like I have been sexually assaulted, and that is a heavy theme in this film for sure. I personally, I thought it was very interesting the way it was presented. I felt like I identified with like the feeling of being followed. I felt like I identified with like not being able to snap out of like your daydream versus real life, wanting to care about people like the boyfriend in this movie, but like not being able to explain what's going on. I really identified with that. I really identified with her affection toward Anya Taylor-Joy's character, Sandy. Like at points she's like trying to grab her and trying to save her, and she's like, no, like you're not supposed to be this, like you're supposed to make it, and like no. And I didn't view it as like she just wants Sandy to succeed because she wants to view like a pretty life. I think she genuinely was concerned about her. And I think the ending kind of shows that. And I think it's like how women, like I as a younger woman, like think about older women and what they had to go through and the rights they didn't have that I do. And there is a sense of like belonging there, where even though Sandy ended up becoming and turning into a terrible thing, you still like feel like how much choice did she have? And you as a viewer can't say like, what else would she have done? Like, given up on her dream? Is that the better option for us? Like, should she have just gone with it and been a good girl and done what she was told? Like, she didn't have a lot of choices. I thought it was interesting. I thought the twist was great. I could keep ranting, but I want to hear what y'all have to say. But overall, I was touched by the movie. I was haunted. I really connected and cared about the characters in this movie. I thought the setting was beautiful. I thought the ending, I could see where people say it got very like untangled and kind of just came apart. I think it was bold and risky, but I personally didn't mind the ending. I think, again, I'm viewing it as like, this is an 18-year-old girl's perspective. So it's going to be a bit out there and dreamy and whimsical and maybe not put together all the way. And I think maybe even like the male visions were from her. Sandy didn't seem to really have seen them before. So I do think there's something about Eloise and the power she has that like she's influencing how Sandy's story is materializing. Anyway, I could keep going, but what did y'all think? What's your spoiler take?
I will say one of the things I'm very curious about is Edgar Wright's decision not to dive into how and why she is seeing these things. I mean, they kind of touched on the idea that, you know, when they were doing the reveal of Sandy being the older woman, Miss Collins, that she was talking about how she died 100 times up in the room, and therefore, you know, there's all these bodies they showed of all the men who were abusing her that she killed over the period of time. And, you know, all those bodies were being, you know, buried in the floorboards or in the walls or whatever, which is terrifying and creepy. But that's what it was. They never explained why that was, or what the connection was for Eloise to be having those visions in connection to that room and what happened there. And I feel like I kind of like that they never touched on that. I feel like I like that they just left it up to your imagination. They just left it a mystery. I know that her grandmother at the beginning of the movie was talking about her gift. And so they kind of left it up like this could be a movie with a supernatural element to it. It could be a movie with, you know, there's like some kind of superpower or something happening here, but also it's a movie that the story itself can and has likely in some variation multiple times existed in reality. Like it was very much based in like, hey, this kind of stuff has happened all the time. It does still happen all the time. And I think that's what was most interesting about it was the commentary, so to speak, on all of that. Again, like I was talking about earlier, the scene where the movie just hit the gas pedal for me was when Anya Taylor-Joy's younger Sandy was leaving the club after having, you know, she did her song, she did her performance, and they go, oh, she can sing. And then they ended up pushing her to be like a background chorus girl character. She wasn't even like leading her own show or anything. And then, you know, watching what she had to go through and experience leaving the club that night as she looked into various rooms, and, you know, there was any amount of unfathomable things happening that, you know, like, I'm not going to mention the specifics of, because again, we're trying to keep this channel family friendly, but there was definitely a lot of like really horrible stuff going on. And that's when like I was sitting there audibly going, oh no, oh my God. And that's where the movie like grabbed me and just didn't let go from that point on. The whole like the men who assaulted Sandy being presented as like ghouls, I think that was like an interesting take on there. I don't know if like I'm not going to be someone that has like a whole lot of commentary on like specifically what the how the sexual abuse side plays, because that's not me. That's not my experiences. I you know have no experience being sexually abused, so I don't feel like I have a voice in that world. But as far as like somebody on the outside who hasn't experienced those things and looking in, it's like it gave me at least a little bit of a window, I feel, into those who have experienced that. And that's what I'm saying is made me feel kind of like I feel sick to my stomach watching this. Because it's like, you know, it's an example of somebody essentially being able to share their story. And just being able to see that and hear it is like, you know, it's rough stuff. So I think there was a lot of interesting decisions that Edgar Wright made in that field. The twist at the end I thought was great in that I didn't necessarily see it coming until a certain point. I remember like there was one point where she was thumbing through all the mail, and like that's when I turned you to her. I was like, did you see it? Did you catch it?
I missed it. I was like, what?
The old woman
See?
is Sandy.
Yeah.
She's Alexandra. Oh my gosh. I love movies with twists. So that definitely, like, that was up my alley with that kind of stuff right there. But man, the whole story of the movie was just heartbreaking. The different aspects, you know, like I love that they painted Matt Smith's character at the beginning. He's like some enigmatic, he's going to be the guy that he's going to be the man that gets me into this world. He's going to be the one that starts my career, and there can't possibly be anything wrong with him. Look, I'm starting this wonderful romance with him, and you know, everything is perfect, nothing is wrong, and then you just watch it slowly just tear apart and fall apart, and he turns into just the most terrifying person, you know, by the end of the movie. And I thought like the way they handled that was absolutely fascinating as well, and really good. So that's my take. I'm sure there's a lot more that I'm going to remember once we're done with this show. I'm gonna be like, oh, I wish I said that. But there's so much about this movie that I really enjoyed, even if I didn't enjoy how it physically made me feel. I definitely want to go see it again for sure.
Yeah, and Robert, if you don't mind, before you share yours, because I do want to hear yours, I did want to address Maxwell's comment, because Max, that's actually why I wanted you to stay, because I saw your tweet about it, and I know you didn't go into specifics. But I think it's important for people to be able to say, like, if they did have problems with the movie, what those problems were, because especially for something like this, I think it's completely valid and important for people to be able to share. And again, like, as someone who's gone through a similar thing, I absolutely like want to hear like criticisms, and if you felt hurt or offended, as you said, or if the way that they handled the sexual assault aspects really didn't work for you, or were harmful, I'd love to hear more about your perspective, either here or via Twitter or just like Discord. But I can definitely see that. I think, you know, every time I see sexual assault or abuse handled in a film or a book, I always tread into it very lightly. I'm like, here we go. What's going to happen? And, you know, it's unfortunate that you have to do that as someone who's gone through it, because it's like, you just never know, like, how it's going to be handled. If the person has any experience, if they don't, what the messaging is going to be. You have to like protect yourself as well. And so, you know, I'm really, you know, I understand where you're coming from, and you know, it does suck when things don't represent things in a way, and or if they, you know, like if they portray something in a way that's hurtful, always sucks. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, because like, thank you for sharing. And you know, when movies cover this stuff, you gotta talk about it, and you know, they rarely get it right, in my experience with it. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, because I know the three of us, you know, are saying we liked the movie and it worked for us, but obviously I've seen a few people who it didn't work for, and I just wanted to bring that up, because I don't want to just like ignore it and be like, no, this movie's absolutely great, because I can absolutely see why it may have not worked for you, and how it would have been actually like harmful or really uncomfortable to have to sit through. So just wanted to say that one, because this film covered pretty heavy stuff. But yeah. Robert, what did you think of it? Not that there's an easy transition out of that.
There's not.
No, I know. I was like, Howard, I'm gonna do it, because I know it's important. And
I like this movie. Can I say that?
yeah.
No, for me, kind of the same. I don't have that background, so I don't have that connection. For me, I do like movies that have that mystery element to it. Like being able to call when I watch a movie that has a mystery or a twist, especially if you know going into that movie that there is a mystery that you as a viewer can solve, there is a twist that you're trying to figure it out. Like, that's fun for me, trying to figure that stuff out on there.
I'm a sucker for a twist.
Yeah. When I was a teenager, I was with some friends one night and we rented The Usual Suspects, which I had no interest in seeing that, but I got outvoted. I got outvoted and they watched it anyways. The what?
The Schmodown Team?
No.
I've never seen the movie.
So don't spoil that movie.
I'm not. I refuse to spoil that movie ever. But that was one, like, come towards the end of the movie, you could kind of tell that this was turning into a movie that was a mystery that may have a twist to it. And so everyone I was sitting there everyone was trying to guess it. And I threw out my guess. Everyone else was wrong. I was right. So, like, go me. But I like that kind of stuff. I love being able to watch these movies as the filmmaker makes it and try to determine what was the filmmaker thinking, what were they doing, what is the actual story that they're trying to tell. This one was very good at doing that. I thought Edgar Wright put together a really good package for this movie. The story that it's telling, the way it's told. It came down towards the end. I was kind of guessing what the ending was. Like maybe like a minute or two before, like Chris said, before you saw that envelope as she's flipping through the mail, and then again I saw the name on there, like, got it, nailed it.
I was like, I heard you guys like say something. We all saw it together.
The second they showed that, and I was like, knew it. Okay.
I was looking for it too. I was like, what's going on with this mail? Then I was like, what's going on with this tea? And then you're like, put the tea down.
I was calling it because all of a sudden they started focusing on this older woman. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason why they focus on her all of a sudden. She's really had very little to do with anything. But now all of a sudden in the third act, our focus is shifting to her. Like, there's a reason why we're focusing. So what is it about her can I figure out, like, beforehand? And that was it, sure enough. So.
And they gave you like so many hints early on too, like her rules for Eloise when she came in, like no men after such and such time. Mm-hmm. Like she
said, I'll kill your boyfriend if he comes back.
Yeah, she knew. So she's like, no, we ain't doing this in this house anymore.
Also, shout out to Diana Rigg, the actress.
Which was her last movie.
It's her last one, and I was a Game of Thrones person, and I wasn't a fan of the last season, so it's kind of hard for me right now. It's complicated. Anyway, she was amazing in Game of Thrones.
So,
and she plays like a matriarchal, very bold, witty character. And not to say I'm glad she went out in a bold character, but how often, Robert, you and I are horror movie fans. How often does like an older woman get to like
get a redemption arc at the end of the movie? Yeah, not very often.
Even just like be a good, weird, bad person. Like I don't know. Like I'm just like, just give me more evil women.
I need to make sure people heard me. She went out in a blaze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of glory.
I wouldn't necessarily like categorize her as evil. I just think that she. I would almost categorize everything that like Sandy went through and what she ends up doing is more of a self-defense. Maybe not a self-defense there in the moment exactly, but more of a self-defense of her thoughts, her feelings, her emotions, like all of that. She is keeping herself from having to deal with that.
She was a Bond girl.
I believe
was she
so.
Hot?
She was also I told y'all before this too, the old TV show The Avengers, that has absolutely nothing to do with the Marvel comic book characters, but the Avengers, every season they would have was it John Steed was the lead male, kind of a James Bond type character, and every season they would swap out his female companion. She was the fourth one in the fourth season, was Emma Peel, and she was so popular that she was actually on the show for 2 seasons. And of course, Emma Peel was the most popular character. That's why when they made the Avengers movie, it was Uma Thurman was playing Emma Peel in that with Ralph Fiennes.
Chris got that. I love Uma Thurman. I need to go watch Diana Rigg's younger roles.
Oh my God.
She's so pretty. I mean, so talented too. But like, I'm really glad she got to act and when she was older.
It's a good
because,
role
again,
for her.
not to be like, women unfortunately aren't cast in movies once they hit 30. I guess because that's like, you're basically dead at that point, right, guys? Like, you're over 30. Like,
absolutely, completely useless in the entertainment industry.
I resent this.
You're not entertaining at all. Like,
no, I don't want to see you go away. Just
no, yeah. So I am glad she continued to act into her later years.
Yeah, it was a good. Yeah, it definitely was a good role for her to go out on. Do we have anything else we want to say before we remove the spoiler ticker?
I mean, I will say, if I can comment on this and everyone's okay with it, I will say that the last little bit of the direction they took where you saw all the men like not in ghoul form, but like just with like their throats cut and like stabbed all over and going, help us, save us. I thought that was like, when they started doing that, I was like, wait, what direction is this movie going in? Because as far as I'm aware, the answer to that question should be no.
No, yeah.
No. And then you saw Eloise make the decision like, you know what? No. This woman just tried to kill me, sure. But she definitely she's like, in my mind, she was definitely right for doing what she did to you guys, for sure. So no. And I just thought like it felt to me kind of like it was almost trying to force you to have like some emotional whiplash a little bit. And I kind of liked that aspect because it's like, hey, we're going to play a little bit into the way like a lot of people think. And then no, they were bad. They were damn awful. Mm-hmm. Like, deal with that. Deal with the reality that these men were awful. They made stupid, awful, horrible decisions that hurt somebody. And deal with the fact that they got what they deserved. And I love the movie just forced you to just contend with that.
Yeah, the movie definitely doesn't shy away from making choices. We can say that. Like whether it hit with people or it didn't. This is a bold movie. It wasn't something that like stayed at the ground level and hung out and was a pretty movie. Like they really, attempted to say something, and whether they accomplished it or not is up to the viewer. But yeah, it makes some moves. It does. It makes some moves. You're not going to go see Anya Taylor-Joy hop around for 2 hours. Like, it's way more complicated than that.
Yeah. Anyway, we can take the spoilers down now.
Anyways, that's it for the spoiler talk. And that's going to do it for the show, isn't it?
I think that does it for the show, too.
So real quick, let's run through stuff that's coming up. If you are a part of our Patreon, patreon.com/cinefanatics, Monday night, this coming Monday, the 8th, we will be doing our trivia hangout. It's at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. If you are at the Maverick tier on our Patreon, you'll be able to come join and hang out with us. Again, there's no FCL, so there's no real focus. We're just going to hang out and play some movie trivia, answer some questions. A lot of fun hanging out doing that. Also, if you are at the $5 The Dude tier, you can join us on the 19th, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. We will be doing the watch along of King Richard. That likely will be on Discord. So you may need to look at making sure you have access to HBO Max, because it's going to be a first time viewing for pretty much all of us. So that's going to be on the 19th. Upcoming shows that we have this coming Fridays, the 5th of November. So we are going to be doing a public watch along right here on YouTube of V for Vendetta. That's going to be this coming Friday in 2 days. Again, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. V for Vendetta. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we will have episodes of The Marquee coming back in November. Just stay tuned for what those will be about. Guys, also want to follow up. We did get one person did submit their impression of Smeagol.
Oh my god.
Oh.
So we got Jeremy Miller.
Precious. That was impressive.
Thank you, sir.
There it is.
So,
y'all thought we were joking. Y'all thought we weren't going to do it. We did it.
Jeremy came to the door. He said, I'm here.
He knocked. He said hello.
Yeah.
He walked through the door.
So we got that. Thank you for submitting that, sir. Thank you very much. Anyways, that's it for the shows coming up. Again, hop on Patreon. At $1, you get to join our Discord where, again, there's a movie-loving community being built up there. A lot of interaction is starting to happen daily. So, yeah, hop on that. It's a lot of fun. Watch alongs. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Cinefanatics MLP on Twitter, Instagram, all those fun places. What else do we have? Oh yeah, and yeah, hop on the Patreon, help us out. We're trying to save up money going to Schmodown Spectacular in December. So Patreon, Streamlabs, if you still want to throw Streamlabs in, help us out. That would be great. And I have no idea what Tori's doing down there.
I'm growing a beard like Gimli.
Tori's being Tori. Just let Tori be Tori.
I'm letting Tori be Tori. I didn't say anything negative about it. Just I said I have no idea what she's doing.
I like touching things. I don't know what to tell you.
Tori's free to Tori all over the Tori place. I don't know.
I am. It's my house.
Speaking of Tori, where can they find you, Tori, all over the place at?
Tori X Rose on Twitter and Instagram. I am sometimes funny. I've been playing Pokemon Y. I just started, so I'm probably going to take some screenshots and put it on Twitter like I did today. Oh, and I made a tweet about Degrassi that got real popular. Because they found out what a Discman was. I think we mentioned that already. But yeah, I tweet stuff like that. Feel free to follow me. I'll probably like your stuff. If you post a frog, I'll definitely like your stuff. So yeah, Tori X Rose.
These are the cheat codes, guys. She's giving you the cheat codes right now.
I'm that easy, like truly.
You can find me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP. I'm planning on streaming at some point this week over there. I don't know when, because I know we're seeing Eternals tomorrow, and then we've got something's going on Friday. Oh yeah, we're doing the Dead on Friday.
You didn't remember the 5th of November.
I know. And then all sorts of just stuff is happening all over the place. I'm busy on Saturday, so I can't do it on Saturday. So Sunday I'll probably end up streaming. We'll see if I get to stream at some point this week before then.
So next week.
Well,
tomorrow.
Anyway, so regardless, come follow me at twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP, because I will be doing some more streaming there. As again, I'm trying to save up for Spectacular as well, and I could really use some donos over there to help me pay for a hotel. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me, where I'm at. Look at all the frogs. Oh, the frogs for Tori.
Where do you get that emoji? Is that like a phone one that shows on?
Yeah.
That's just I mean, you could do it in the YouTube chat also.
I've never done it. This is what I get for being on mobile constantly.
Guess what's going to happen on the next tagline, folks? Tori's going to frog the frog out of the Cinefanatics.
Forg.
Guys, you can follow me also, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Robert Adams MLP. That's going to do it for tonight, y'all. That is it for the show. I hope y'all are all entertained. Thank you, Brennan, for the compliment there.
Are you not entertained?
No, we're not. Let's go.
Go make a lasagna and do a Chris Pratt impression while you do it and send it to us.
Yes.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Do you like lasagna, both of you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good.
I am a fan of the ricotta.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's going to do it for tonight, y'all. So thank y'all for watching live. If you're watching us on a replay, let us know down in the chat. What did you think of this? Anything you want to add to the conversation, let us know down below down there. Make sure you also hit that like and that subscribe button. As for myself, as for my brother, and as for Tori, thank y'all for watching. Y'all all have a great evening. Good night. That was weird.
You're weird.
Your mom's weird.
We have the same mom, you idiot.